The twin suns of Velix Prime were beginning to set, painting the sky in soft shades of violet and amber. The open-air celebration in the central square was in full swing. Music echoed through the trees, and lanterns floated slowly into the sky, leaving warm trails of light. It was the annual Harmony Festival, where humans and Velexian natives gathered to celebrate peace, trade, and shared life. Among the crowd stood Liam, a young human engineer with dust on his boots and a hopeful look in his eyes. He had lived on Velix Prime for 8 months now, working on fusion generators for remote villages. But this night was different. He wasn't just here for the festival, he was here for her. Ayari, the Velexian woman with bright eyes and calm wisdom, stood near a fountain dressed in flowing green robes that shimmered like leaves in sunlight. Liam had worked with her closely day after day. She wasn't just his translator or guide, she was his closest companion in this strange world. And maybe something more. Liam took a deep breath, stepping through the crowd. His heart was pounding, not from fear, but from the weight of what he was about to do. He reached Ayari and dropped to one knee. The music slowed. Conversations faded. The lights above danced softly as he opened a small velvet box with a smooth silver ring inside. "Ayari," he said loud enough for her and those nearby to hear, "you've taught me more about life, about this world, and about myself than I ever imagined. I want to keep learning with you. Will you marry me?" There was silence, then gasps. Some humans nearby smiled in surprise. A few Velexians blinked, exchanging uncertain glances. But Ayari didn't speak. She didn't move. Her expression was not joy. It was worry. She looked down at Liam, her voice calm but trembling. "Human. Liam, you can't just marry me." The words struck harder than he expected. "Why not?" Ayari looked around, then gestured for him to rise. "Not here. Come with me." Confused and concerned, Liam followed her through the quietening festival, away from the crowd, and into the soft glow of the forest just beyond the village's edge. Once alone among the trees, Ayari turned to him. Her hands were folded in front of her. Her eyes were no longer calm. They were conflicted. "There is something you do not understand," she said slowly. "I am not only Ayari, I am also part of Ressa and Thylon." Liam tilted his head. "You mean your sisters?" Ayari nodded. "Yes, we are triplets. But on our world, triplets are more than family. We are bonded." "I've met Ressa and Thylon," Liam said. "They're kind, but I fell in love with you." "You love what you know," Ayari said, gently. "But everything you said to me, they feel it too. Everything I feel, they feel as well. Emotion, memory, even dreams, it's all shared. We are 3 minds, but 1 soul." Liam opened his mouth but found no words. He remembered. Seeing the sisters around, Ressa was the quieter one, often sitting under the tree with a book. Thalen was more energetic, a bit distant, always watching him closely. He never thought much of it, but now he understood why. "Are you saying, if I marry you, I'm marrying them too?" Ayari looked away. "Yes, that is our way. If one of us bonds, all must accept it. You would be bound to the soul we share." Liam took a step back, not out of fear, but from the sudden weight of the truth. "I didn't know," he whispered. "No, and that is why I stopped you," Ayari replied. "Because love should never begin with confusion." The wind rustled gently through the leaves above. Liam looked up at the stars slowly appearing in the sky. This was more than a proposal. This was a doorway into a world he didn't yet understand. "But, do you want to marry me?" he asked finally. "I do," she said softly. "But I can't accept unless my sisters do too, and they are not ready." Liam nodded, though his chest felt heavy. "Then I want to understand. I want to know them better. Not just as your sisters, but as part of you." Ayari looked at him, surprised. Then a small smile touched her lips. "Then come tomorrow," she said. Come meet us properly, not just with words, but with your heart open. Liam smiled back. I'll be there. And as they walked back to the fading lights of the village, the stars above shimmered like soft promises in the night sky. The next morning, the skies over Velix Prime were bright and peaceful. The two suns had just risen, and the village streets were still quiet. Liam stood near the edge of the forest waiting. His heart beat faster than usual, not from fear, but from something deeper. He had made a promise. Today he was going to meet Ayari's sisters, not as strangers, but as the other parts of her soul. Soon, Ayari appeared, her green robe flowing like leaves in a morning breeze. She greeted him with a small nod, calm and thoughtful. Are you ready? She asked. Liam smiled. As ready as I can be. They walked together along a narrow trail that curved through the trees. Birds sang above them, and soft blue flowers bloomed along the path. After a few minutes, they reached a quiet clearing. A simple wooden structure stood there, surrounded by crystal stones. It was a resting place, sacred to the Velexian people. Inside, two women sat across from each other, in silence. Both looked like Ayari, but their expressions were different. One had a peaceful, distant look, her eyes soft, her hands gently folded in her lap. She wore a dark blue robe. Liam recognized her immediately. Ressa, Ayari said softly. You've met her before. Ressa gave a gentle nod. Hello again, human. The other stood up as they approached. She was taller than Ayari and had sharper features. Her silver robe had golden markings, and her gaze was direct, even slightly cold. I know who you are, she said. I'm Thalen. Liam gave a polite smile, unsure what to say. Thalen didn't smile back. You think you're in love with Ayari, but love for us is never with one. It's with all. I know that now, Liam replied, his voice steady. That's why I came. I want to understand not just Ayari, but both of you too. Thalen crossed her arms. Words are easy. Proving them is harder. Ayari gently stepped between them. Let him speak, Thalen. He's here because he cares. They sat together on a round floor mat, the soft breeze blowing through the open structure. The three sisters sat like a triangle, with Liam in the center. He looked at each one carefully. I don't expect you to trust me right away, he said, but when I fell in love with Ayari, I didn't know what it meant in your world. Now that I do, I'm not turning away. I don't want to hurt your bond, I want to learn how it works. Ressa tilted her head. You want to understand what it means to be one of us? Yes, Liam said. I don't know everything, but I can listen. There was a long silence. Then Ressa spoke gently. We were born during the storm season. On our world, triplets are rare, but when they are born, they are connected by what we call the mind thread. It links our thoughts, feelings, and even dreams. If one of us cries, the others feel the sadness. If one laughs, the others smile. Liam nodded slowly. So, when I gave Ayari a flower last week, I felt the warmth in her heart, Ressa said, smiling faintly. And I smiled even though I was alone. And when I held her hand on the tower, he asked. Thalen answered this time. I felt it too. I didn't like it then. It felt strange. But it's not your fault, Ressa added quickly. It just means we weren't ready. Liam looked thoughtful. Do you always feel the same things? Not always, Ayari said. We are three people, but we share everything important. So, if one of us falls in love, the others feel it. Liam took a breath. Then tell me this. If I want to marry Ayari, can I learn to love all three of you? Thalen raised an eyebrow. You can't force love. I'm not forcing anything, Liam said calmly. I'm asking for the chance. There was another pause. Then Ayari stood. Come with us. There's something else you should see. They led Liam through a path behind the structure, up a small ridge where the trees opened to reveal a glowing pool. The water was blue and shimmered like glass. At the center, A stone platform stood just above the surface. This is the reflection pool, Ayari explained. In our tradition, if someone wants to connect with a bonded soul, they sit in the center. The pool will reflect not only your face, but your emotions. If you are honest, it will glow clear. If not, it will turn dark. Liam stepped forward. So, it's a test? In a way, Ressa said. It shows if your heart is open to all of us. Liam looked at each sister, then nodded. He took off his boots, stepped into the water, and walked to the platform. Sitting cross-legged, he closed his eyes and thought of Ayari, her smile, her kindness, her laughter. Then he opened his heart to Ressa's calm warmth, and even to Thalen's strong will. When he opened his eyes, the pool around him glowed crystal clear. From the shore, all three sisters stood in silence, watching. Thalen folded her arms again, but this time her voice was softer. Maybe you're not like the others. Ressa gave a warm smile. I believe you're trying. Ayari nodded. Then perhaps this story is only beginning. The days after the reflection pool test moved slowly but meaningfully. Liam spent each day with one of the sisters, learning who they were beyond just their connection. Though they shared thoughts, each sister had a unique personality, and Liam was starting to see them more clearly. Ressa loved calm places. She took Liam to a floating garden where they sat quietly among blue-leafed plants. She spoke softly, telling stories of Valexian history. Liam listened, amazed by her knowledge and gentle voice. Thalen, on the other hand, brought him to the training fields. She was strong and fast, leading physical challenges. She tested him, made him climb, run, and even spar. At first it seemed like a game, but Liam understood. She was seeing if he would give up. He didn't. Ayari watched from the side, proud but quiet. She had always been the balance between them, the voice of reason. One evening, as the twin moons rose, Liam sat near the riverbank with all three sisters. The night was peaceful, with fireflies drifting between the tall grass. He had something on his mind. I have a question, Liam said gently. Do any of you ever want to be alone? The sisters looked at each other. Then Ressa spoke first. Sometimes I do, but even in silence I still feel the others. It's not a curse, Ayari added. It's who we are. But what if you don't agree on something important? Liam asked. Thalen looked up at the stars. Then we argue in our minds, but no one can walk away. That's the bond. We are always together. Liam nodded. So if one of you doesn't accept me, the others can't move forward either? Yes, Ayari said quietly. That's the truth. The words settled in the air like mist. Liam felt it in his heart. He had begun to care for all three sisters, but something was still not complete. He could feel it. One of them was holding back. The next morning, Ressa found him early near the fountain in the village. Liam, she said, her voice uncertain. Can we talk? He nodded. They walked along a shaded path, away from the morning crowd. I want to tell you something, Ressa said, her eyes downcast. Ayari is ready to accept you. I am too. But Thalen? She's not. Liam felt a twist in his chest. Is it me? No, Ressa said quickly. It's not about you, it's about fear. Fear, he repeated. She's afraid that if we welcome a human into our bond, we'll lose each other, that your presence will weaken our unity, that one day one of us will change and the others will feel the pain. Liam understood. This wasn't about dislike. It was about protection. Thank you for telling me, he said softly. Later that day, Liam found Thalen on a rocky ledge overlooking the valley. She was alone, her arms wrapped around her knees, staring out at the horizon. Can I sit? He asked. She didn't look at him. If you want. Liam sat beside her, watching the clouds. I know you're afraid, he said gently. She turned to him. Do you think this is easy for me? No, Liam replied. I think you're brave. You care deeply for your sisters. That's why you're guarding them. Thalen didn't speak. But I'm not here to take anything from you, Liam continued. I'm not here to break your bond. I want to be a part of it only if all three of you let me. Thalen's eyes were sharp. What if I say no? Then I walk away, Liam said honestly. Because I would never force myself into something sacred. Thalen stared at him, searching his face. Most people don't walk away from something they want. I do, Liam said. If it means protecting something more important. There was silence between them, broken only by the soft wind through the valley. You passed the pool test, she said finally. But this is harder. I know, he said. But I'll wait. I'll give you time. Thalen stood up. You're strange, human. Liam smiled. I hear that a lot. She looked at him once more, then walked away. Not with anger, but with something more thoughtful. That night, Ayari met him under the starlit tree where they had first shared a quiet moment, weeks ago. She hasn't decided, Ayari said, reading his thoughts. I know, Liam replied, and I'll wait as long as it takes. Ayari looked into his eyes. You're the first human to say that and mean it. Liam touched her hand gently. You're worth it. As the stars shimmered above, Liam knew that true love wasn't only about feeling. It was about patience, respect, and understanding a bond far deeper than his own. And he was willing to go through it all, for Ayari, for Ressa, and even for Thalen. The morning sun was soft over Velix Prime, sending gentle rays through the high trees. Liam stood near the ancient stone circle at the heart of the village. Around him, the air was still and quiet. Today was important. Today was the day of the mind-linking ritual. Ayari, Ressa, and Thalen stood beside Liam, their faces calm but serious. The ritual was a tradition of their people. It was the only way for an outsider to truly understand the bond between the triplets, the mind thread that connected their souls. The village elders had agreed to let Liam try the ritual. They wanted to see if a human could share in the connection, without breaking it. It was a risk. The ritual could overwhelm a human's mind or cause lasting confusion, but Liam was ready. The elders began chanting softly in their language, a low and steady sound that seemed to flow like water. The four of them sat cross-legged inside the stone circle, holding hands. Liam closed his eyes and took a deep breath. At first there was silence. Then a faint pulse like a heartbeat began inside his mind. Slowly, colors and feelings started to swirl. It was as if he was stepping into a river of thoughts and emotions. Suddenly, images came rushing in. He saw the three sisters as children, running through fields under two suns. He felt their laughter, their joy, and their fears. He understood how deeply connected they were. It was no ordinary sisterhood. It was one soul in three bodies. The river of thoughts became stronger. Liam felt a sharp pain in his chest. The emotions of three lives, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, overwhelmed him. He saw moments where the sisters argued in their minds. He felt their sadness when they were apart. He felt the love they shared. Love that was so strong it could never be broken. Liam opened his eyes and saw Ayari's face, smiling gently at him. Do you understand now? She whispered. He nodded, breathing hard. Yes, I feel it. I feel all of you. Ressa's eyes shimmered with tears. You carried our bond in your heart. That is brave. Thalen looked at him closely. You survived the storm inside our minds. Not many do. Liam smiled, tired but happy. I want to be part of this, not as a visitor but as a friend. The elders spoke then, their voices calm. You have shown respect and strength. The bond you seek is not easy. It is a living thing that must be cared for every day. Ayari took Liam's hand in hers. Now you know what it means to love me. And us, Ressa added softly. Thalen nodded. But remember, it is also a responsibility. Liam looked at all three sisters, feeling the weight of the moment. This was more than a promise. It was a new beginning. After the ritual, the sisters led Liam to a quiet lake hidden deep in the forest. The water was clear and still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. "We come here to rest our minds," Ayari said. "After the ritual, we must stay connected but also find peace." Liam sat by the water's edge, watching the ripples. Thalen sat next to him. "You have learned what it means to share a soul, but it is only the start." Liam nodded. "I want to learn everything." For the first time, Thalen smiled, a small but real smile. The days after the ritual passed with quiet happiness. Liam and the triplets shared stories, dreams, and hopes. He saw their bond in a new light, not a limit, but a beautiful strength. One evening under the twin moons, Liam spoke to Ayari alone. "I want to ask something," he said. "If I marry you, do I marry all three of you?" Ayari looked at him with soft eyes. "Yes. Our bond cannot be broken. You become part of all of us." Liam smiled. "Then I choose all three." Ayari reached for her sisters, and together they joined hands. "We accept you," Ressa said. "Welcome to our soul," Thalen added. And as the moons shone above Velix Prime, a new kind of love was born, one that crossed worlds and hearts and united three souls with one human spirit. The day of the ceremony arrived with clear skies and a gentle breeze that carried the scent of blooming flowers. The village square of Velix Prime was alive with activity. Lanterns hung from trees, and colorful banners fluttered in the wind. Villagers, humans, and visitors from nearby colonies gathered in excitement and curiosity. Today was not just a wedding, it was the beginning of something new. Liam stood near the stone altar, his hands steady but his heart racing. He wore a simple yet elegant robe gifted by the triplets, woven from soft threads that shimmered with pale blue hues. He looked toward the crowd, but his eyes sought only the three women who shared his soul. Ayari, Ressa, and Thalen approached together. Their green, blue, and silver robes moved like waves, each one beautiful and strong in her own way. The sisters' faces glowed with calm and hope, but also a quiet seriousness. Today, they would make a promise unlike any other. The village elders took their place around the altar. One elder, tall and wise, stepped forward and spoke in the native tongue. His voice was clear, carrying meaning that all understood, even those who did not speak the language. "This union is not just of one and one," he said slowly. "It is a bond of souls, of minds, and of hearts. A human chooses to join three sisters as one. This is a union of great honor and responsibility." Liam stepped forward. Looking into the eyes of each sister, he spoke with confidence. "I stand before you not to divide, but to unite. I promise to love Ayari, Ressa, and Thalen as one. I will honor their bond and protect their unity. I will learn and grow with them, and respect the soul we share." Ayari smiled softly and took his hand. "And I, Ayari, accept you, Liam, the human who has opened his heart to all of us." Ressa stepped closer, her voice gentle but sure. "I accept you as part of our shared soul. May your presence strengthen our bond." Thalen, who had been quiet for much of the ceremony, now looked directly at Liam. "I accept you too. But no, our bond will be tested and you must be ready to face those challenges." Liam nodded solemnly. "I am ready." The elder raised his hand, signaling the others to begin the ancient ritual. The triplets and Liam joined hands once more. The villagers and visitors watched in respectful silence. The ritual called for them to share a moment of deep connection, a symbolic gesture that bound their souls in a way beyond words. They placed their joined hands over a crystal bowl filled with water from the sacred lake. The water shimmered as their energy touched, it spreading soft ripples like waves of light. A gentle warmth flowed through Liam's body. He felt the triplets' thoughts and feelings surround him, not as a flood, but as a calm sea. He realized that he was no longer just an observer. He was part of their world and their soul. The elder spoke again. "May your bond be strong as the twin suns, steady as the mountains and deep as the ocean. The crowd cheered softly, some wiping tears from their eyes. This was more than a ceremony. It was a promise of unity between worlds. After the ritual, Liam and the triplets walked through the village together, hand in hand. People greeted them with smiles and words of congratulations. The bond that had once seemed strange was now embraced as a symbol of hope and friendship. Later, beneath the starlit sky, Liam and the sisters sat by the reflection pool. The water was still, mirroring the stars above. Ayari looked at Liam. "You have shown patience, courage, and respect. Those are the gifts that keep our bond alive." Ressa added, "Love is not always simple. It can be many things at once: joy, challenge, and growth." Thalen nodded. "But it is always worth fighting for." Liam smiled, feeling the weight of their words. "Thank you for letting me be part of this." As the night deepened, Liam knew that this was not the end of his journey. It was the beginning. With Ayari, Ressa, and Thalen, he would face the future together, sharing joys and hardships as one. And so, on Velix Prime, beneath twin moons and glowing stars, a new kind of union was born, a union of 3 souls and 1 human heart. Together, they would write a story of love that crossed worlds and touched the very essence of what it means to be connected.